Okay, so today we're diving into a technology that seriously sounds like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's real, and it's already giving people back their voice, their ability to move, and their connection to the world. We're talking about brain-computer interfaces.
I mean, really think about that for a second. No keyboard, no mouse, just your thoughts controlling a computer. For most of us, that's a pretty wild idea, right? But for people living with conditions like ALS, this isn't just cool tech, it's a lifeline. It's a profound reconnection to everything they've lost.
So what exactly is a BCI? Well, put simply, it's a direct communication pathway between your brain's electrical signals and an outside device. It literally reads the tiny sparks of electricity your brain creates when you think, and it translates them into commands. You're basically interacting with technology without ever moving a muscle.
Now here's why this is such a game changer for someone with ALS. With this disease, the body's muscle control fades away, but the mind often stays completely sharp and active. A BCI acts like a new bridge, bypassing all the damaged connections and linking that brilliant mind directly back to the world.
You know, the goals here are just so practical and so deeply human. We're not talking about a cure for ALS just yet. This is about a powerful tool that can restore function. It's about being able to talk to your family again. It's about regaining control over your own environment, turning on a light, changing the channel. It's about giving back a piece of independence that the disease cruelly takes away. This is all about improving quality of life, right here, right now.
That all sounds amazing, but you're probably wondering, how does it actually work? I mean, how do you get a thought from inside someone's head to move a cursor on a screen? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of it.
It really boils down to a three-step process. First, you've got to catch the brain signals, and that's what the electrodes do. Second, you need some seriously smart software to decode those signals, to figure out what the user is actually trying to do. And third, that intention gets turned into a command for a device. For someone with ALS, the BCI is basically creating a brand new way for the brain's commands to get out into the world.
Okay, now this slide is super interesting because it lays out the fundamental trade-off with PCI technology. On one end, you have the non-invasive stuff, like an EEG cap you wear. Totally safe, no surgery needed. But the signal can be a little fuzzy because it has to get through your skull. On the complete opposite end, you have invasive implants that go right into the brain. The precision is incredible, but it requires brain surgery. And then right in the middle, you have these partially invasive systems that are trying to get the best of both worlds.
And look, this isn't just something happening in a lab anymore. This technology is being used by real people right now, and the results are just extraordinary. Let's see how it's being put into action.
Let me tell you about Casey Harrell. He was a participant in the BrainGate 2 clinical trial. After being diagnosed with ALS, he lost the ability to speak. But with an implanted BCI, he got his voice back. He was able to communicate again just by thinking about the words he wanted to say. So how well did it work? The system achieved 97% accuracy. Just let that number sink in for a moment. 97%. That's not just a statistic on a slide. That's the difference between being trapped in silence and being able to clearly share your thoughts, your jokes, your feelings. It's the simple, profound ability to have a conversation again. And there's this whole ecosystem of brilliant companies pushing this tech forward. As you can see here, everyone's tackling it from a slightly different angle. You've got Neuralink with its high-tech implants, and then you have Synchron with this really clever approach that actually avoids open brain surgery. The big takeaway here is that there's not just one path. There's a race of incredible ideas, all aiming for the exact same goal. And of course, none of this matters if it just stays in the lab. This is where the rubber meets the road. Getting this technology to patients is the crucial next step, and that's exactly what these clinical trials are all about. From long-running trials like BrainGate 2 to brand new studies from companies like Neuralink, the work to prove this stuff is safe and effective is happening as we speak.
But as exciting as all of this is, let's be real, we're not quite at the finish line yet. There are still some pretty significant hurdles to overcome before this kind of technology becomes a common thing.
Yeah, it's really important to be realistic here. There are major hurdles to clear. For one, speed and accuracy can still be a bit slow. And the cost? It's astronomical right now, which really limits who can get access to it. Plus, any kind of surgery has risks, and we're still figuring out how these implants hold up inside the human body over many, many years. These are the tough, real-world problems that scientists are working on right now.
But despite those challenges, the future looks incredibly bright. We're moving towards smaller, completely wireless, and way more powerful devices. AI is going to make them much easier to use and might even get good enough to understand inner speech. You know, the words you think but don't actually say out loud. The big goal is to make these systems affordable, portable, and accessible to everyone who needs them, which will open up a whole new world of possibilities.
Which brings us to this final, massive question. This technology starts by giving a voice back to those who have lost it. But as it gets better and more common, it's going to change the very nature of how we all interact with the world. When our thoughts can directly control machines, where does humanity go next? It's something pretty incredible to think about.